Once again, welcome back to the eSports Report. I think we have slain the audio demons. Shinobu, can you hear me, man?
Yes, I can hear you.
Glorious, glorious. So this is Shinobu of My Insanity. How does it feel to be, just jumping right off the bat, just jumping right in? This is Heroes of the Storm. You guys are one of the first Heroes of the Storm professional teams. And just tell us a little bit about your background, like your esports history and what you've been doing in gaming just throughout your life.
Me personally, I was in the first WCG for League of Legends. I played on a professional team, Epic Gamer, with my teammate Aragi. And that's pretty much it for professional experience. I played a lot of like highly competitive League, but nothing.
So you're really a MOBA guy when it boils down to it.
Oh yeah, I've played MOBAs for so long. I played League since beta. I played Dota back in the day. I did a little Dota 2.
So Heroes of the Storm, being the new game, being very different from League of Legends, what was the appeal? What made you interested in the game?
I just thought it was a great idea, like being able to play with Blizzard characters. Like there's characters you always just want to play. Like it would be awesome to play as them. And then the more I got into it, like the more I saw the mechanics and how the games flow, and it just I was amazed like by how they put together all the maps with like different objectives, but it still works. Like League only has one map, and it was just mind blowing what they're able to do so far, and it just got me hooked.
How early did you get into the alpha?
Not too early. I think I got in maybe a few months ago. Not exactly sure, but yeah, I know all my teammates were in before I was.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, itself. Like, how did you meet your team? I mean, you mentioned that you were playing League of Legends with Aragi, and I believe he's your team captain, correct?
Yeah, him and Ace are co-captains.
Co-captain. So, I mean, Ace of Spades, we talked to him on Town Hall last night, actually. And Aragi is, where's he from? You're from Jersey. Three of your
Yeah.
players are in Europe, and you said we have one player in Montreal. Is that correct?
Yeah, Aragi is in Montreal. He's not from Montreal, but he moved there semi-recently.
So, I mean, just how did the team come together? Because creating a team that gets picked up by something like My Insanity, which is a very, they have a Call of Duty team, or they used to at least. They have a StarCraft 2 squad, and now Heroes, Dota 2 as well, I believe. How did the process go? How did you guys meet each other, and how did you get picked up by a team like My Insanity?
Aragi had already met the three Europeans, Ace, Fred, and Lowell, and they were a Guild Wars 2 team, and I guess they met up with Aragi. I don't actually know the whole backstory, but then I got invited, and then I basically just got added to the team. They caught me up to speed, and then we just started playing and practicing.
And it just worked out. Well,
Yeah.
very cool. So tell me a little bit about like your team and when it comes to the game. So, I mean, Heroes of the Storm, it's got a pretty small player pool, but there's still scrimming. You guys actively scrim with Team Empire. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, we scrim them every chance we get, almost every day.
That's awesome. I mean, Team Empire is another big notable team that has grabbed a squad. But like when it comes to the drafts, when it comes to the picks and bans, like who do you guys typically go for a ban, and like what are some compositions you guys like to run? If this is something you can unveil.
Yeah, I can share a few things. The drafts is centered a lot around the bruisers at the moment. Like we run what everybody's been calling the eraser build a lot, which is the Tyrael barb. Just jump on one guy, destroy him.
Just delete them from the game.
Yeah. So there's a lot of picks and bans centered around those. Like we ban Sonya a lot. Tyrael comes up often. But it sometimes gets tricky because Empire has some like really nice strategies that can turn the bans around. Like they do some crazy stuff, and they're really strong. So we have to be pretty careful when we pick and ban. But it's mostly bruisers.
So like, what's your ideal team? Like for when it comes to My Insanity squad, like what's the ideal 5 character you guys are locking in?
Ideal 5 characters?
Yeah, 5 heroes. If you guys had your optimal squad, what would it be?
Optimal squad. There's a few interchangeables. Like the basic setup is we do like 2 bruisers, either 1 or 2 healers, and a ranged DPS. Sometimes we'll sub a support for, a mage type. But optimal, I would say something like maybe Tyrael Barb, either Valor or Tychus with like a Brightwing Uther. Something like that would be probably our best setup.
So just the eraser build, but with a lot of sustain. It makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So I mean, one of the bigger discussions in the game right now, just segueing into like Heroes of the Storm esports discussion as a whole, is a lot of it's based around just team fights, and your composition is, definitely speaking to that. Do you think split pushing will ever be a thing? Because in League of Legends and Dota, split pushing is always a core mechanic, but in the current meta of the game with the competitive teams, it seems like everybody's running these strats where it's just centered around team fights.
Yeah, I've actually been looking for that. I don't like split pushing too much, but I like to know if it's a thing so that we'll be able to deal with it. And it seems like it could happen. Like Zagara actually has some split pushing options. I don't think it's been fully explored, but with her Nidus Worm and her creep, she's actually able to push really hard with her regular abilities, and she's able to have a really nice escape with speed on creep and the Nidus Worms.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, she's one of the few heroes that could actually solo in a situation like that too. When she's out of position by herself, she can definitely take a 1v1 as a specialist. A lot of other specialists probably can't do that. If you guys don't know Zagara, she's actually the queen from StarCraft in Heroes of the Storm. She's super, super fun to play. But on that note, let's talk about like some of the other obstacles that exist in the community. I think we got a graphic ready for this actually, but right now, if people that don't have access to Heroes of the Storm probably won't know this, but there are no custom games. And esports community has actually started up. We got guys like you getting picked up by My Insanity, but there's no custom games. There's no ranked ladder. There's no spectator client to do casting tournaments or anything like that. But yet at the same time, we have teams like My Insanity, Team Empire, Curse Gaming, Justice, a lot of these top teams coming in and picking up squads, and we have 3 new leagues that are now launching. There's Nexus Champ, Versus Sphere, and ESV Diamond, who is actually one of the original StarCraft 2 organizers for their leagues. They actually started before even MLG was doing content, is now running a Heroes of the Storm League. What do you think? I mean, why is the community so anxious for esports? Like, it's so early. People are saying it's premature. I mean, there's a lot of people that are very hungry for it, like myself. But what do you think merits teams like Empire coming in and grabbing squads?
Well, I think the main thing, the reason why we're so gung ho for the competitive already, is because a lot of players are moved from other games, right? Like they tried this game, they got into the alpha, and they just thought it was amazing. Like Idra, LZ, they were pro StarCraft, and now they're just totally about this game. I think there's a lot of players like that who have been in the professional scene and they know how to get it going. So we just started getting it going really fast.
That's good. So you really think it's really just having established people in the community that are just really kind of spearheading it?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. It's kind of, the obstacles are unfortunate, like the custom games and stuff. That would be really nice and would make tournaments so much easier. But I don't think Blizzard wants tournaments, so.
Well, we'll see. I mean, as you can see here, it says that BlizzCon, they're actually hosting a tournament November 7th to 8th. That is actually, BlizzCon is Blizzard's convention they hold every year. It is slowly becoming more and more esports involved. Last year they had a Hearthstone, StarCraft, and World of Warcraft tournament. This year we have all 3 of those, plus Heroes of the Storm. We know the details on Hearthstone and StarCraft, but we know absolutely nothing about the Heroes of the Storm event. Are you hoping to be able to be there competing under your new banner?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we can hope. We can hope. Hopefully we'll have details sooner than later, but I think everybody's pretty anxious to know what's going on with that. And all the new leagues are starting up in the next coming week, so it's going to be really exciting to see actually how things pan out and how Blizzard reacts, because they might, like you said, we don't know if Blizzard wants tournaments. They could be completely opposing the idea and just say, hey guys, please just hold off until we have tournaments ready, until we have the spectator client and the custom client, and even a ranked ladder. There's not even a ranked ladder on the game yet.
Yeah, I think they're trying to keep it low until they release, until they're comfortable with their own game, because it is a tech alpha. So I think they're trying to keep the competitive scene low, but not necessarily stifle it. So they don't want too much stuff going on before they do their big tournament, if that's what it is. We don't really even know.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Well, let's just take one look at at all the teams that are now existing in the community, all the teams that have picked up squads, and not everybody has necessarily a full sponsor yet. Like you said, we have a lot of StarCraft players forming up squads. Cathan Luck is a very old school StarCraft guy. He's playing on a team called Glorious Gaming with ZPs. We have Idra and LZ Gamer. Team Snowflake. Team No Limit is actually 5 Korean former StarCraft pro gamers teaming up and making a team. In Symbiote Gaming, another notable squad that's out there. But you guys are My Insanity. Team Empire was actually, I think, the first squad to get picked up, and Curse Gaming announced their roster last week. Who do you think will be next?
I I actually know of a team that has yet to be announced, so I can't say anything. So I'm assuming they'll be next, but yeah, I can't release any information on that.
Very cool, very cool. Well, it's already exploding. I mean, Blizzard, I'm sure you guys are watching. I'm sure you guys are well aware that this community is hungry for more esports, so give us Spectator Client. And I'm just going to keep bugging them about it as much as I can. The CMs probably hate me by now because I'm constantly harassing them, asking them for the CM, for the new client. But I think that does it for our Heroes of the Storm segment. Shinobu, thanks again very much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure having you.
Thanks for having me.
And you want to plug your Twitter real quick before we shoo you away?
Yeah, I have Twitter and Facebook. They're both MYI Shinobu, and you can check me out almost every day at my stream at EXFTW on Twitch TV.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again. And coming up, guys, on Esports Report Bucket, we'll be back talking about Call of Duty. We got a top 5 from Advanced Warfare. We got a recap from COD League from Monday. And stay tuned. We'll be right back.